Greetings, all! Today, we will be examining the rare Ghost Fairy-type Pokemon Mimikyu, the Disguise Pokémon. Quirky and deceptive in every sense of the word, Mimikyu are adorable but potentially dangerous creatures that take mimicry in their form to the extreme in order to garner as much positive attention as possible. The true form of these creatures is completely unknown, with only a pair of thin, shadow-like limbs with claws being the only parts of their bodies that are normally exposed, and even then, they are generally only extended to grasp objects and attack others. The rest of their form is covered in a rag that is designed to resemble a Pikachu, with a scrawled-on face and red cheeks and black pointed ears, as well as a piece of wood that has been shaped to look like a Pikachu's tail, the creature residing in what would be the torso of the fake Pikachu outfit. Mimikyu are bizarre creatures whose true form has never actually been seen, or at least no one has ever seen it and lived to tell long about it. These creatures seem to be weakened severely by the effects of sunlight, so for protection, they wear a cloth over their bodies and hide in abandoned buildings where the amount of light present is at a minimal level. Though they are usually very quiet and lonely by nature, they will become incredibly agitated and resist violently if someone tries to remove said cloth, wishing to keep their form safe and hidden at all costs. While Mimikyu are considered to be ghost types as a result of their skill in utilizing ghost type attacks in battle, it is thought that they are not actual ghosts, but some sort of special entity that transcends the boundaries between the living and the dead, with their paper-thin limbs being the only part of them ever truly seen regularly, and whose general anatomy makes no physical sense. However, they have been noticed to also have the ability to freely control fairy force energy, thus making them fit to be assigned as fairy types and in turn making for a very bizarre type combination shared by no other known Pokemon. The old rag that these creatures wear does have a pair of eye holes cut out of it so the creatures can't see, but other than this, no other part of their body except their claws has ever been seen by someone that didn't get violently ill and pass away shortly afterwards. The last researcher that managed to get a peek at the creature's true form was literally scared to death, though some suspect he was actually exposed to ectoplasm of a lethal concentration, and was unable to relay any details in his shocked state before his heart stopped beating. And it is even said that a trainer who accidentally saw it after a gust of wind blew off a Mimikyu's disguise died horribly and painfully later that night, overall leaving the true forms of these creatures an absolute mystery and one that should likely be kept as such for their own sake if they do not want to come down with some horrible illness or other form of curse. As such, the only marginally safe way the one might have a chance at seeing their true form is by becoming a victim to the signature Z move, Let's Snuggle Forever, which involves those holding a Mimikyu MZ crystal and confusing their opponents with rapid movements before leaping over them and covering them with their disguise, exposing their true form and delivering a series of punches and vicious strikes to them to deal massive damage as an extension of their play rough attack. And even then, the devastating assault that follows its initiation is likely to be too much of a painful distraction for a proper and safe study. What makes Mimikyu really stand out though is the fact that they go to the trouble of making the cloth that they wear into a disguise that makes them look like a Pikachu. Or at least their best approximation of what a Pikachu would look like. Because these creatures live in the darkness most of their time, they are stuck with either ghost types or no one, and this makes them very sad and lonely. Despite their simple appearance, these creatures are deceptively intelligent, even to the point where they have been known to be capable of speaking in human languages, and they are very well aware that it is their need to hide that renders their life so lonely. While they might not always be the safest to be around, Mimikyu genuinely like being around people, and they just want to be loved like other Pokemon are. Over 20 years ago, Pikachu started to become incredibly popular in places like the Alola region, and in looking at old merchandise left behind in the buildings they occupy, these creatures have come to realize that even today, Pikachu are still popular, and so to get closer to humans, they fix and change the rag they wear so it looks like a Pikachu. These creatures are convinced that this is the only way that they can ever be loved by humans, and it does make them seem fairly depressed. Nonetheless, this disguise has worked on a number of occasions, not necessarily because they have perfect mimicry, but because people take pity on them for their desperate and adorable means of getting attention. Though it does give them some combat benefits that include them being able to learn Wood Hammer with a bit of help, thanks to the fake tail they carry around as part of their outfit. However, trainers should be warned that putting these creatures near their counterpart is a bad idea, as some Mimikyu are incredibly hateful and jealous of Pikachu and will always try to upstage them in a fight if they feel like they're getting less attention than the real thing. It is lastly noted that because of their unique appearance and form, Mimikyu possess a very unique ability called Disguise. In essence, if these creatures are hit by an attack that deals direct damage, instead of taking damage, they will use their disguise to take the brunt of the blow, causing it to break by keeping Mimikyu completely unharmed from the initial attack. The breaking of their costume does enrage these creatures though, as they put a lot of work into making them and fear that their identity may be revealed if the disguise is broken, mercilessly seeking revenge on the individual responsible for the attack, before proceeding to stand in front of a mirrored surface that they can see the reflection in, and working all through the night to repair it if the neck of the outfit is broken or the rag is torn, which causes them to weep on the inside because of how hard it is for them to get it right, and in turn is something trainers should be aware of if they want to keep their Mimikyu happy. In looking at their base stats, it becomes apparent as to why this disguise is really necessary for them in battle as well, for these creatures possess little stamina to their forms and are not able to take physical damage very well or do much with special attacks, their base HP, defense, and special attack stats being below average for a fully evolved ghost and fairy type Pokemon. On the other hand though, they are able to hit back with decent physical force, move deceptively fast, and reflect special damage considerably well thanks to their outfit and abnormal forms, so their base attack, special defense, and speed stats are above average for fully evolved Pokemon of both of their types, making them deceptively powerful fighters that can definitely make for a unique combatant to specialize in a master, as indicated by the fact that one serves as a totem Pokemon on Ulu Ula Island in the Alola region. While they might seem just adorable and of little consequence, Mimikyu are sneaky fighters that can more than make life a hassle for anyone that dares to underestimate them. It might take a bit of finagling to make the most of their unique attributes and ability, but for those that are willing to be patient with them, they can quickly become accustomed to their attributes and turn them into devilish fighters in the process. Of course, if you're just looking for a cute friend to spend some time with, these copycats can make great allies and companions when given the affection they crave. Just make sure not to peek under the rag out of curiosity, or you may likely see something that will almost certainly mark the end of days for your career as a trainer, and perhaps even your life as a whole. Thank you all for watching this video. It is always an honor to be able to speak with you all on the subject of Pokemon in a way that brings me great joy and happiness in my work. If you would like to keep tabs on past and future work, click that subscribe button, check out my work on DeviantArt, and don't be shy about following me on Twitter, where you can find pertinent announcements on upcoming work before it is officially posted. Links to both can be found in the video description. If you would like to support my work and help Miguel and I continue to produce more content for you and improve upon our presentation, please visit us at my Patreon page, which you can also find a link to in the video description. With that, I thank you for watching and I wish you well.